go, fellas. We live.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Deep Third. Man, we appreciate everybody who's watching it live. We appreciate just everybody, even if you catch it after we're done. We just appreciate y'all for coming on, taking the opportunity to listen to us, watch us. Again, this is just three good friends, man, three best friends, just talking sports, um, coming to y'all live. So we appreciate it. I'm Jarrell.
And I'm your boy Fade.
I'm DP. Hey, so listen, man. As Jarrell said, man, we appreciate you guys jumping on. Sorry, last week we could not be on. We had some personal issues going on, so we appreciate you guys logging on and still looking at our stuff. So we appreciate it. Thank y'all. Before we get started, I'm gonna let Faye go ahead and take it and tell us about our special. Go ahead, Fade.
So we got a special segment at the end called Deep Thought. So it's for those who tune in live to the show where we get your guys' questions, comments, feedback, any of that stuff. So it'll be the last segment of the show where we talk with you guys, the viewers. But before we get anywhere else, I need everybody in the chat to say congratulations to Mr. Jarrell for becoming a father to another baby today. Congratulations, bro.
Congratulations.
Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. I'm coming live right now from the hospital. I didn't do any work except for the best coaching job that I can say that I've done. So just in all honesty, I was there to help, but I did do something that I can check off my bucket list. I caught the baby. I was down at the bottom. It was absolutely amazing. Um, I felt like a kid in the candy store jumping up and down. But yeah, so it was amazing. But my wife and the baby are doing fantastic. Um, so thank y'all. I appreciate it. We're excited for the new baby. I'm not going to put the name out there yet, but new baby Burnett. We are just excited, man. So thank you, Fave. I appreciate that. Appreciate the love, Dante.
So, all right, guys, we're going to get into the first topic here, and I'm going to hand it off to you, Jarrell. So, today, just to go over, we're going to be talking about these first couple weeks of the NFL season, and then we're going to be talking about the NBA playoffs and our thoughts on that. So, Jarrell, what's your thoughts with this crazy first couple of weeks of the NFL season?
Oh my goodness, man. These So first of all, I'm happy we got football back.
I
Let's
agree
start there.
wholeheartedly.
Um, it's the first 2 weeks has been a gym to watch. It's a little weird, a little different, just not seeing the fans, but yet you hear all the fan noise. So I appreciate it
What did this just do? Oh, sorry, everybody.
watching it, and the fans are still there. So that part has been absolutely amazing. Um, so what I'll say and what I'll go with is the Ravens look amazing, the Chiefs look amazing, but what I'd like to spend some time on is the injuries. Um, I think preseason and not having preseason, I'm not going to say for sure it's had an impact, but I think it has. I think that we haven't had the opportunity, or they haven't had the opportunity to get that live game action in. So on that accord, I think we're seeing something that is very unique. Um, I think it's unique in the way that guys really had to get themselves game ready just based off of practices. No scrimmages with any other teams. Um, I don't know if many of our viewers, but in the past few years, what we've seen is a lot of teams will do like a few days or camp days before the actual game comes up. So they're getting in 7-on-7 reps. The linemen are getting in 1-on-1 reps, things like that. And I think we haven't seen that. So I'll tell you what, I think Lamar Jackson has not skipped a beat. Watching his downfield throws is amazing. I think we saw it last year. Lamar Jackson wants to throw the ball. He doesn't necessarily want to run, but I think he has that ability when all else breaks down. But just seeing what he's doing has just been phenomenal. Um, I'm gonna tell you a surprise team, the Jaguars. The Jaguars literally got rid of just about everybody that they could, but yet today they were in a 30-30 tie um, with the Titans, and I was shocked.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, they're about to get blown out, and literally, yeah, they lost the game, but at the end of the day, that's a shocker right there. I think looking around the landscape, AFC and NFC, I think you're seeing some defenses struggle. Um, I know we had Nate on who did a lot of, or who does the sports gambling, and I think what I've seen just by starting to take a look at that is the over unders that we're seeing. A lot of these games are beating the over unders. It's just high scoring right now. So at the end of the day, I'm happy that football's back. Although it looks a little weird when they pan and you don't see any fans, I think we're seeing the product is still, for the most part, a quality prospect. I'm sorry, a quality product. So as far as what I'm seeing right now, I'm really liking it. I'm intrigued. The guys look like they're into it. I don't see anybody tentative. But what I do see is a lot of injuries, and that makes me nervous. For anybody who does fantasy football or anything like that, it's like, who do we do, or who do we pick, or what should we do? Because guys are dropping like flies, and we're talking big names. I know today, Moser got injured from San Francisco. Saquon tore his ACL. Um, Nick Bosa on defense. Jimmy Garoppolo, and that's just in a short span of those guys. So I think that's concerning as the year goes on, because every football fan, every fan of a team, period, the one thing that we like is superstars, and we like our guys to play. We don't like to see the backups, the third string, the fourth string. It doesn't matter if in-house we say next man up. That is the only thing that I see concerning. Everything else, I think it's a fantastic product so far.
You go ahead, Dante.
Yeah, so hey man, it's like Jarrell said, I'm happy that football's back. Excited to kind of see them running around. Not even just the pros, but college and also high school as well. Um, I know I was definitely one of the ones like, I think they should push it back. Still kind of feel that way, but I would definitely say that it is definitely nice to be able to see. Um, so far as no surprise, everybody know I'm a Buccaneers fan. We got Tom, baby. He is there, and we about to do some damage. This today we won our game, so I was super excited to see that. We played very well. A team that people, might need to look at and maybe even question the front office is the Eagles. So, Jarrell, you were talking about a team that people need to look at, because it's a shocker. People need to look at the Eagles because I'm sitting here scratching my head like, bruh, they should have got, they should have kept Nick Foles. They are struggling. They're 0-2, and it's just like, man, I'm like, this is the team for the last 2 years have been going deep in the playoffs, not with their franchise quarterback, but with their backup quarterback. And now the starting quarterback or the franchise quarterback is here to stay, and they can't buy a win. So that's a team that we need to look at, not even from like a playing standpoint, but from a front office standpoint. Like, what are y'all doing? Y'all dropped the ball. Um, the other thing, I'm trying to think, the Bills. I'm really liking what the Bills are doing. This is one of the teams that I believe I picked to win their side. I thought they were a special team. I thought they could have did some damage last year in the playoffs. But this is a team that people better look out for. It's not the same old Bills from you know uh, like 5 years ago. Like this team here is they legit. They ready to go. Um, they just balling, man. Them boys hungry out there. People when people think of Buffalo, the first thing that probably come to their head or their mind is wings, chicken wings, buffalo wings. Like you don't think about football, you think about chicken. And so I'm sure they out there like, man, all of the disrespect they just putting on Buffalo name because they just haven't been good. So I'm excited to kind of see what they're going to do this year. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna say it again. Everybody already know the first team to play at home in the Super Bowl, baby. Let's go. We ready to go. I got the jersey in the closet. We ready. We going down to Ybor City. Fabe, you can come too, and I get a jersey for you as well.
I burn
Let's
that
go.
thing. Ain't nobody
the
wearing
dis
that.
the disrespect. But anyways, on the other note that Jarrell was talking about the injuries, so this is one of the things that I definitely thought that it was going to be. I thought there was going to be a bunch of sloppy football, just from the sense of because nobody was doing anything, nobody's tackling. They couldn't do certain things that they normally do because of COVID, and it's kind of showing up. You know, that's why you have all these high scoring games, even though that could just go back because the rules change as well. But I think a lot has to do because they're not used to tackling and stuff like that. So I believe that the offense definitely has a better advantage. When you are just trying to run away from people and you are going against people that haven't had that live contact. And then the other thing that I also brought up, was it was going to be a lot of injuries. And it just comes from the point of people just not physically ready. You don't have they didn't have the four preseason, and they didn't have the OTAs and all of that stuff that they normally go through. So you're basically putting your body out there on the field, and your body's like, I'm not ready for this yet. And so that's why you have all of these injuries, and they kind of see all of these cats go down because it was like about 5 or 6 of them that went down today, and it wasn't like it was just like a third string. It was some starters on some teams, like the Giants. I don't know how they're going to recover from Saquon Barkley. Like that is going to be an uphill battle
Yeah.
in that organization, and it's just sad to see because they just been struggling every year, and they just can't get right. So with that being said, but that's how I thought, man. I think the season's going well. I just need some cats to win so I can get a return on my investment.
Oh, you put that 50 mil up for Brady, huh?
I couldn't bet on Brady because I'm in Florida, but I did put some money up. Um, Nothing big, $2 here, $5 there. But I need some people to play right because I need to get this back.
Well, speaking of your Bucks, the first thing that I want to say that I loved about this season. Now it didn't happen today. I wish it would have, but they lost. But I love that first loss they had. Bruce Arians was like, Brady missed some throws. I love that. You ain't heard that in 20 years. Brady getting called out like that, huh?
I would definitely say that Bill Belichick does.
Well,
He
I
would
guess
call.
he would do it kind of on the sly. He wouldn't say names necessarily. He didn't do it like that, so he would be kind of slick, but you knew what he was talking about. But Bruce Arians
Yes.
was like, Brady missed some throws and he read that wrong. So I'm with that. He's saying, I don't care that you done been here 20 years and you a Hall of Famer or any of that stuff. You missed some throws. Um,
Yes.
so I definitely like that happened, and then just like we talked about, along with the injuries, I wanted to say the gap between the good teams and the bad teams is huge.
Oh
So
yes.
like the teams who, even though I know like the Baltimore Ravens, their season ended in the playoffs and Lamar didn't have a good game, but it shows the work he put in, and they're still good. Because I think they pretty much brought back everybody, right? For the Baltimore Ravens, they kind of pretty much have the same team. So you have that continuity with them, and then the Chiefs. I know they had a tight game with the Chargers, but I think that's to be expected with division rivals and stuff like that. So teams, like I said, that were good and established and playing together, they're showing out and showing up. And you can see that gap. And then you can see the teams who put in work. Like you got Josh Allen, like you alluded to. He's thrown for over 300 yards in his first games here, and they're really taking off. So he's taken, to me, he's taken the next step in his career as far as getting better and stuff like that. How he messed up a little bit in the playoffs and caused them to lose. Um, and Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals, I think, are really going to shock a lot of teams this year. I think it's funny. He's not Patrick Mahomes, but somewhat of the same story where he could have went and played baseball and stuff like that, and decided to do uh, football and everything. So I think it's great that he's able to now really succeed and take off there. I'm trying to think what else. Like you said, Jarrell, just I'm just happy to see football's back, and I can't wait to see where it goes. But the Bucks are not going to the playoffs at all. So I mean, sorry, not playoffs, to the Super Bowl at all. But I wanted to ask you guys this question: with all these injuries, do you think it would have been better to have a shorter season? Like maybe you have 16 games, but instead these first four games, or maybe first three or two games, would have been the preseason, and then you go the rest of the season. Do you think that should have been an option?
Hmm. So honestly, I mean, I think it's a difficult ask. Um, so let's talk financial first. Now, if you're getting some financial benefit in getting those first four games, I understand. Uh, but where I think the issue is going to come in is what the players wanted. The players didn't want to play any non-meaningful game, and then get some of these injuries in a non-meaningful game. Um, Now, would I like them to shorten the season? I would have loved the season to go from 16 games to maybe 14 games and then start. I would have liked for them maybe to increase the, I guess, the camp part of it an additional 2 weeks. Because again, with OTAs for just about everybody was virtual. So I would have loved for them to be together a little bit longer prior to starting a season. And again, I'm not saying that they needed to have 15 games. I think they could have done something along those lines that just would have given them a little bit more time to build some of that continuity, because there's so many new players or new faces on new teams. And again, it's very hard for that continuity to happen in such a short time when it comes to some teams.
Yeah.
For me, you know what? I'm actually fine the way they did it, because for the most part, this is what most of the NFL players wanted. Most of them didn't want to have preseason games. They wanted to have a shorter work week, and they didn't want to have to do all of the stuff that you know that they used to do, because they felt like it would cut down on injuries and stuff like that, and So I'm okay with it. At the end of the day, I do think that they probably should have something like that because I think that it just helps you to get football ready, and I think it would cut down on a lot of injuries. But at the end of the day, if that's what they want and they feel like that's better for them, that's probably because they know their body's better than us or definitely me. So, but that's what they asked for. That's what they kind of wanted, and so I'm with them. I for the most part, I usually ride for the players and what they like, because I mean, at the end of the day, that's kind of like my position where I was at. I was the player, so I'm usually always going to be for the players unless it's just some nonsense.
Okay. Any early MVP picks? I know it's only been 2 weeks, but just who stands out?
Josh Allen.
Dang. That's crazy that you say that. Wow.
I love Lamar Jackson, and Lamar's got it. But watching him play, it looks like he's playing with a confidence that, and again, they don't like to pick the same MVP back-to-back years unless you have an even more outstanding year. But just looking at the first couple weeks, Josh Allen is looking like the real deal. And then my dark horse is my man Cam Newton, who's playing right now as we speak.
For me, I would have to go with man. I know he got hurt today, but he looked really good last week. Is actually I'm gonna pick three. So I'm gonna go with my first one. My first one, I would probably say Russell Wilson. He's playing. He played a really good game last week against the Cowboys. Um, Cowboys a good team. Team that should every year be making the playoffs with the talent they have on the roster. And they came out and just lit them boys up. So I would definitely say him. Um, I would also say, oh gosh, what is his name? McCaffrey, the running back for the Panthers.
Mm.
Last week, I think he had like 93 yards rushing, and he also always catching the ball out of the backfield, and he just looked like a stud. And then my last pick, baby,
Look at
Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette.
Oh, I thought you were about to say Tom
man,
Brady.
listen.
I was going to say, please don't say Tom Brady.
Nah, I mean, listen, I'm just happy he on the team, but I mean, I don't think he gonna do all that. I think he just gonna keep the ball in our possession, and he just not gonna turn the ball over all willy nilly. But Leonard Fournette, man. So if you're not a Bucks fan, maybe you don't know this, but we have three good, solid running backs in the backfield. So we got Shady McCoy, good running back. Then we got Jones the third, good running back. Then you got Leonard. All three of those, well, I don't know about Jones, but I want to say he is at least second round pick. But Leonard and Shady, those right there, those are two first round picks. And Leonard, he showed off today, and I think he is going to get a heavy dose of the rock the rest of the way.
Yeah, because they can't trust Brady to throw.
So disrespectful. Listen, I'd rather trust Brady than Goff.
I agree. They could get Goff out of here. I'm still mad when they picked your boy. What was it? Sam Bradford. From Oklahoma, gave him $50 million guaranteed.
Hey, you was signing on with that. You was
okay. I was a little happy at the time. I was like, okay. And then trash.
And Sam like this, I run into the I'm ready to the bank.
50 yeah, he was the last number one pick to get a guaranteed contract. Just for that reason.
Matter of fact, where is Sam Bradford?
Bro, I don't even
He
know.
probably still in the bank running. Thank you, Rams.
Right?
He took all that money.
Would have signed that 50 mil. Oh, my knee.
Hey, he hit y'all with that. Hey, you a sucker. Thank you.
Mine would be Russell Wilson as well. That boy he's amazing. He's good,
That boy-
man. He's
That
good.
boy good. That boy
he
good.
is. He's real
Hey.
good.
Hey, Fade,
Say
I'm not trying to cut nobody off, but I don't know if y'all heard what Bill Belichick said about Russell Wilson.
No, what?
Now we know that Bill Belichick don't say much ever. He called him underrated. He called him a top 5 quarterback and underrated.
Wow.
He's one of the best deep ball throwers. And I'm like, hold on. We talking about the Bill Belichick that's just like, yeah, we just got to play better.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, we had a good game, but we still got to learn from our mistakes. To go up there
Yeah.
and consider the guy underrated, and I think he's so true. But Fave, I'm gonna let you get back. I just had to point out what Belichick said.
Yeah. No,
Hey,
I agree.
Before you continue, let me say this. He only said that because he knew they were coming to town and he didn't want him to light them up.
Nah, he was speaking truth. He knew he was speaking truth on that, man. You got to show props where props is due. And Russell Wilson get that. Even though Russell Wilson's great, they still should have ran the ball. But anyways, they still should have ran the ball. I mean, come on, man. I get it. I get you want to make Russell Wilson the star of the show, and you had that man back there. What did he say? You know why? You know why he's here. You're at the 1 yard line. You know why I'm here. That's it. But anyways, I digress. I was listening to not First Take, the other one, Skip and Shannon the other day, and they told this story, and I found it amazing about Russell Wilson. Like, I didn't know that he transferred to Wisconsin from
NC State.
NC State. And the coach had to pick between him and Mike Glennon. Went with Mike Glennon, and Russ was like, all right, bet. And took him to the Rose Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like, you the NC State coach, boy, you slapping yourself right now. You had this man on your team that good. And he bet on, and I love that he bet on himself and said, all right, I know I got the talent, I could do this. So he took his talents to Wisconsin and showed out. So yeah, Russell Wilson's that man.
Real deal.
All right, Mr. Parker, you want to transfer us to our next topic, sir?
Yeah, man. So listen, the next topic. How do you feel about the NBA playoffs in the bubble situation? Because these playoffs are totally different from what everybody knows. It's like going to outside and playing on the blacktop. Like, this is just unheard of. So what do you guys? How do y'all feel? What are your thoughts about the playoffs in the bubble situation?
If y'all don't mind, I'll go ahead and go real quick.
Go for it.
All right. Hey, man, listen. So I'm loving it. And I can't get enough of it. I think the way the NBA did this and this whole bubble sets a standard, man. I mean, it's safety. There's stuff to do. I understand that the guys are away from home, but now that they're in the playoffs, they've allowed I shouldn't say family. You're allowed up to 4 people to come into the bubble now. So I think that they've done this and handled it right. Now let's get into the games. I think the games have been defensively, like football. I think it's been defensively lackluster and a ton of offense. I think we saw Giannis get bounced by a team that was just hungrier, which I'm gonna transition to really my main point. What's so different is that there's no travel. Teams used to travel from one end of the country to the next end of the country, get a day off, then got to get up and play a game. Now everything's done in one place. Now, on the flip side, the issue that not the issue. What we also see is we've been told, and statistics will show you, role players play better when they're at home. So now I think this is more star laden. What we're watching, or quality laden, which is what we're watching, where you see a Miami Heat team that is a complete team. You see a Celtics team who is reliant heavy on three guys. Um, and then we go over to the Lakers, and you see the Nuggets, who's relying on two guys, and the Lakers that are really relying on two guys to be their captain. Um, all that to say, you know, it's amazing to watch um, LeBron working in this setting. I think Jimmy Butler said it best. Jimmy Butler didn't bring anybody into the bubble. Jimmy Butler said, "This is business. I'm on a business trip. So while I'm down here, my focus is business." And I think that's a unique kind of outlook, because you would think, you're away from your family for a couple months. Um, you'd be sad. You want them to come in and to hear somebody talk about business. And then, you see a Bucks team with Giannis Antetokounmpo, and when his family comes in and his kids come in, well, the Bucks get bounced. So just the two different approaches. And LeBron said the same thing. LeBron didn't bring his kids in there. He said, "What am I going to do? Bring my kids in here and they're going to be bored?" Like, all right, bet. I mean, I feel you. That's truth. So looking at how the NBA did it, I think it's been fantastic. They've given us a product. Um, I think with the arenas that they're in, and like how they have the little fans up there, the virtual fans, I think that's been amazing. But again, I mean, I see the quality of play is very high overall. Um, and again, I think Marcus Smart is, as much as I don't like him on the defensive end, I like him as a player. I think he flops too much on the defensive end, but you see a guy like that giving all heart. You see a guy like Jimmy Butler giving all heart. You see a guy like Tyler Hero for the Miami Heat that, if he played like he's playing now, he'd be the rookie of the year. He's kind of come out of his shell, and I think that's amazing to watch. The Lakers have been a pleasant surprise. They've had some goofy floppers of a game, but when you see the nuts and bolts, I mean, their defense, what they can throw at you, um, is just magnificent. So just to kind of go back, well, I'm not going to go back. Um, I thought the Clippers were going to make it. The Clippers was an epic, epic, epic fail. Um, and they didn't fail because of them. They failed because they went up against a team who said, "I don't care. We don't have pressure. You have pressure. If we lose, we were supposed to lose." And they came out, Jamal, Murray, monster, Nikola Jokic, monster. And they said, "Hey, listen, you can get up on us. We're going to be like the Warriors, and we'll just start raining it in the second half, and there's nothing you can do about it." I know on First Take, they were talking about how the Clippers choked. And the one thing that I hate is saying that somebody choked. The Clippers won that game, all those games. Those last three games, when they were down 3-1, the Clippers won those games. I mean, I'm sorry, the Nuggets won those games. When you look at it, it's not about the names on the back of the jerseys. It's the work that you have to do. And lastly, I'm going to talk about coaching. Coaching is so overrated slash underrated. And I say both because coaches get so much credit when a team loses, and sometimes not enough credit when a team wins. Doc Rivers didn't make all those bricks or didn't shoot all those bricks. Doc Rivers during quarantine couldn't tell his players, "Hey, y'all need to be out there working." No, 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 no. That's on you as an individual. As an individual, PG 13 failed. Kawhi Leonard failed. If you didn't put in the work when quarantine was happening, when I hear that dudes can't go longer than 3 minute stretches and they're tired,
That
like, come on, that's
that
individual. What what do you want a coach to do? A coach can't make you go out there and do anything during quarantine. So I think that I feel bad that Doc Rivers got a short end of the stick because I think he's a fantastic coach. I'm not going to say he got out coached. There were guys missing wide open shots. PG 13 sat out there, I don't know how many times, wide open, and did absolutely nothing. And then you have the Warriors who grinded their way. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I got the Lakers coming out of the West and I got the Heat coming out of the East. And the only reason I want that is because I want LeBron to go against the Heat and see what he gonna do. Because I know when he left, there was some sour grapes between him and OGM.
Pat
So
Riley, yeah, it was.
yeah,
Yeah, it was.
yeah, there was some sour grapes. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I'll throw this to y'all and let y'all take it.
I definitely agree with the Clippers thing. I want to start there. Uh, I don't get the tired thing too. Like you guys are professional athletes, you're getting paid millions of dollars. So how are you tired? Like Doc saying, dudes coming to him asking out of the game. Like, come on, man. And that's why I understand the load management. But bruh, come on, Kawhi. You can't be. What was it like? I can't remember the stat. I saw it, but I didn't write it down. But I do. He missed so many games with load management, and it's like that makes no sense. And then LeBron gets a bad rap for stat sheet stuffing and stuff like that. But that man stays conditioned year round, full year playoffs and everything. He stays conditioned. Like that shows you why he's doing those things. Now I know some people may be saying with LeBron too, he doesn't really play on defense like he used to. Okay, but he still shows up when the time comes for it. So I also think the Clippers. There was a lot of talk that the Clippers got cocky, or not cocky, but just overlooked Denver pretty much. They were looking at the Lakers and looking at the finals pretty much. So I think that happened with him too. And then we know that the Clippers was one of the teams that didn't want to play during the bubble and stuff like that. So I feel like they didn't take the Nuggets serious. They didn't take this playoff serious, and their minds were elsewhere. And so he's like it wasn't who was it? PG said it ain't our championship or bust. But if you think about it, they only got one more year. They only signed 2 years. I know they are, yeah, 2 years, something like that, and they got an option. So they're not even going to be there that long. So you guys aren't going to be together that long. So it kind of is championship or bust. Um, and then the other thing what I loved about this playoffs is, man, and I think with social media being in the mix of it is all the trash talk and stuff that's going on when what's his name said come join me in Cancun, or was it Cancun or wherever he said yeah, Dame Lillard, like, man, stuff like that's funny, and the trash talk and Dame Lillard saying, man, I ended their seasons and all that trash talk. Also, to go where you were talking about how the NBA set the standard with this, I think the NBA is setting a gold standard period of how the league to players and owners, how you can all kind of come together and create something. So they're showing this, but then they're also allowing the players to use the platform for the social injustices and stuff like that. And I seen LeBron had posted on Instagram that they were trying, starting to run ads and do marketing to get people out and vote and stuff like that. So for the NBA to work with players like that, I think is huge and is showing that. Now I know that they've lost some money by not having stands or peep fans in the stands and stuff like that, obvious. But it's not by allowing the players to use that platform for social injustice and show what's important to them, it's not hurting the NBA product. I feel it's helping the NBA product. You have the world's eyes, and you're able now to share a message to get everybody to understand and hopefully to get on the same accord. That's what the NFL could be doing. Everybody's watching the NFL, and if the NFL could just look and see, okay, this is how we can work with the players. This is how we can allow them to use the platform to spread whatever message and things like that. I think that's so important and could be real huge. Just like you really don't hear any, the whole kneeling thing and stuff like that in the NBA. You didn't hear a lot of NBA owners come out and talk about it. It was, how the players felt and whatever the players wanted to do. I know now you got the NFL saying it's okay and stuff like that, but the NBA to me just leads the charge in any league sport, major league sport, of working with from players, the league, and all that stuff, and owners working together. Dante.
Yeah, man. Y'all said a lot on this question. So first thing I have is I'll start where you ended at, Fabe. The NFL, to be honest, they're not going to try to follow the NBA. The NBA, I think I said this on one of the previous uh, episodes. The NBA is the best league when it comes to any professional sports. Um, they treat the players as not just like players, but almost the same as business owners.
Yeah, like
Like that's
partners.
how they
Yeah.
see them. And the NFL, they don't see them as partners. They don't see them as part business owner. They see them as a meal ticket. You
Yeah.
know, they see them as, hey, you get in here and you do what we tell you to do. Otherwise, we're gonna stop your check.
Yeah.
Just like pretty much any other person that works a 9 to 5 job. Um, and so I don't think it's ever going to change until um, something drastically would have to change, in my opinion, for them to start acting like the NFL. Because at the end of the day, like you have you have these white billionaires, and they already set in their own mindset, and they're not going to change. And the only way to change it is to hit them in the pocket. And at the end of the day, how many Colin Kaepernicks do you think that's gonna put their livelihood on the line like that to affect the bottom line? It's not a lot. And so it's going for them to change. It's going to have to affect their pockets to the point to make them change. Other than that, they're not going to want to change. So I don't see it changing. But far as the bubble, man, it's the playoffs has been very interesting. Jarrell, to go to one of your points, you're talking about the Clippers and how they kind of underestimated the Jazz, and I was looking at the score as we were going over this. It's a close game right now. The Lakers only winning by 4 points, and it's the fourth quarter with 5 minutes left in the game. Um, I'm hoping the Nuggets pull it out because that'll be a nice Wednesday game if they end up winning this game. But the the Clippers, I do believe that they were kind of looking forward to playing the Lakers and having that discussion. Um, but like you guys said, I think that they overlooked them, and then on top of that, when it came to far as like them being out of shape, the crazy thing is they've been like I think you said, Drew, they've been doing this all year. So it is like it wasn't like, so to be honest, it just got to the point that it just caught up with them.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was, I don't think it had nothing to do with them not doing anything over um, the quarantine, because as as an athlete, you know that you don't really get in shape in a month or 2 months. It takes a longer time. So it just over the course of the year of them playing, them taking days off, them not playing a lot of minutes, and it caught up to them because now they like, oh snap, we down. Guess what? You got to play now, and it's like, oh, I'm not used to playing all these minutes, and my body's just not,
Yeah.
on it. It's just not ready for this. And so I think that's more or less what it was. I don't think it had nothing to do with quarantine, because if that was the case, then you'll be saying the same thing from these other cats that's playing right now. But they were playing the entire year. So when it came down to it, they were still in shape. They still did whatever they were doing, um, but they just wasn't ready because that's what they've been doing all year. So I think that's mainly what it was. Um, when it comes down to, I would like to see that. I'm kind of happy because this right here is a true. Even with everything that's going on, I think this is going to really show you who is the best team, because now you don't have no distractions. So you don't got no fans hooting, hollering, yelling at people, getting people off their game. You don't have to worry about traveling. So this is like who has the best team. And I love it because now you can say, nah, we are just the best team, because people will never say, but you on the West Coast and you got to fly over the East Coast, like that takes something out of you. Goes to the West Coast, that takes something out of you. But now you just wake up, the sun shining, and you just get on the gym and you say, all right, let's go. That I think this is a great year. I know a lot of fans probably upset because they can't be there, and and I'm sure some of the players wish they were at their own facility because they know how much of advantage you have. But I like it because it's just like you pull back the curtains and you can see what's behind the stage, and you say, "All right, let's go." So
And Dante, just to kind of play on that, I think every sport was being questioned as to whether or not this year should count as a legitimate championship or should there be an asterisk behind it. And, you know, in my opinion, with everything that you've seen, you're dealing with circumstances that are way different than anything else. Hockey, basketball, or baseball, basketball, football, hockey, all four major sports, soccer. We'll even throw them in five major sports. When you look at the landscape of everything and how sports are played, I think it's harder to be in a bubble, which you got basketball and hockey in, football, where you're talking about no preseason, where you're talking about obviously that means no real film on people, um, and then also doing things at a different um, I guess a different vantage point that people are going to have to take when it comes to football. Soccer did a bubble, so on and so forth. But all that to say, I think with dealing with COVID and the scarcity, or not scarcity, the the abundance of cases, worrying about that, worrying about performing, being out of your element, probably not being able to be at your specific facility at certain times, monitoring where you go, all these things I think make it harder. Like this isn't like a NBA where they had the strike and they had the shortened season. This isn't like the MLB where they had the shortened season. This isn't like the NFL where you have a shortened season. This isn't anything else other than you have a pandemic that's going on that you're trying to play while the pandemic is going on. Where you see people like Paul George open up about, the issues that he was having with the depression that he was having being at the bubble or being in the bubble. So you see all these other things that are going along with it that you wouldn't have. So I think there's more hoops that you have to jump through in order to win this championship. So I would say if whoever wins the championship this year, there's no asterisk by your name unless you put an asterisk for it being a special championship, because I think that's what it is. Again, you're not dealing with travel. You're not dealing with, oh, I was a number one seed, the Lakers. I busted my butt to get that because I wanted those home games. So I did have that leverage, and now that leverage is gone.
Yeah.
Now it's gone. Um, in the NFL, who knows what's going to happen? They may go to a bubble when it gets to playoffs. I know MLB is going to go into a bubble at playoffs. And when you talk about all that, you're talking about changing up people's routine, and people are all about their routines.
Yep.
So I think the fact that this has happened and this is occurring and what they're doing, I think it is going to be huge, huge, huge as far as me considering somebody a championship. I would say this is probably going to go down in my book as one of the hardest championships to win. I can't name a time where you started playing in basketball, you literally stopped playing, and then all of a sudden you had to start up with 8 games left in the regular season. That was difficult. So that's my take on it, just to add on to what Dante said.
Yeah. You guys ready for the
Good.
last
Fabe, do you
segment?
have anything to add?
No, I'm good.
Good. All right. Man. All right, Fabe, go ahead and take it away.
All right, so we got a couple questions here. We're gonna go ahead and head to our last segment, Deep Thought. So the first question is from Mr. Byron. What do you feel about LeBron not winning MVP and only getting 16 first place votes? I feel he was taken for granted. That's my first thought. Go ahead, Jarrell.
Ah, that makes me that makes me so frustrated.
Yeah, because that man
You're,
puts in work.
LeBron said it best. I'm I'm just gonna state the obvious. Who knows what an MVP is? Because every year it seems to mean something. Sometimes it's the best player on the best team. Sometimes it's the player who has the best statistics. At the end of the day, I'm just gonna be honest. LeBron James should be the MVP every year. Think about it. Think about it. In Cleveland, left Cleveland. What did Cleveland do? 3 first overall picks in the next 3 years or 4 years?
Something like that.
Oh, let me go to Miami. Oh, what was Miami until this year? Absolutely garbage. Oh, let's talk about the Lakers. What were the Lakers when LeBron got hurt? Absolutely nothing. So I'm just going to make the comparison. Let's go to the Golden State Warriors, right? KD was out, and they still had Stephen Clay. They were still a problem, right?
Yeah.
Any other team, the Spurs, if the Spurs were missing somebody back in the day, they were still a problem. I don't know what it is, but LeBron to me can be and could be the MVP, most valuable player, meaning who has the most value to their team. LeBron may not always have the stats. Like I'm looking at him right now, not at him right this second, but looking at LeBron, who he is right now. LeBron may not be a 30-point scorer, but when you see him in the game and the stuff that he has, the way he impacts, listen, Giannis, beast, love him, great dude, seems like a stand-up guy, great basketball player. At the end of the day, LeBron to me means more than what Giannis does. Piss.
I agree. I feel like people are thinking, "Oh, he's got an easy road." People are already calling the East. That's the other thing too, Jarrell. When everybody was saying, "Oh, the West is so hard. The West is so hard. The East ain't nothing." That's why he dominating the East. All right. Now he come to the West. Now they're saying the East, nobody's over there and stuff like that, and now he's dominating in the West. So what? So what's the problem? What's the issue? um, I just beyond this MVP, I agree he should be MVP every year. It's in his 17th year, man. It's very fitting because I don't think we're going to see good players. But man, this man works hard and he is good. And I don't know if we may see this in our generation, but we're not going to see a player like him for a long time. A long time. Dante?
Uh, it's tough, man. Yeah, I mean LeBron is he's the best player in the league, hands down. I think. I mean, let me ask you guys this: who's the second best player in NBA behind LeBron? Because I know that's who you guys have.
If he wasn't injured, to me, KD.
KD is number two. KD is number two.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, so right now, in my opinion, he is the best. Um, that's the other thing too. Like, if you look at um, what's his name? The one that won.
Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, Kumba.
Antetokounmpo.
So I mean, if you look, I mean, to be honest, he was a reason why his team finished where they finished. Like they had the best record in the league, and it was solely because of him. Like they only had two players with him and Chris. What's his last name? What's his last name, bro?
Middleton.
Middleton, yeah. That's it, really. I mean, they had a couple other people here and there, but for the most part, that's who they had. And so, if you look at it from that standpoint, like he was the guy that kind of led their team. And if he wasn't on the team, they don't have the best league in the NBA, the best record in the NBA. My fault. So, uh, yeah. So I that's why I look at him like, yeah, LeBron could have won. However, they did have the best record. And then if you look at that team, if he wasn't on that team, they don't have the best record. They probably don't even make the playoffs. No, they don't make the playoffs if he's not on that team. And I mean, if you take if you take LeBron off the team, off the Lakers, you think they still may be able to make the playoffs? Because they made the playoff. He was able to get the Pelicans to the playoffs.
I was gonna say
They
AD,
had-
they probably still make the playoffs.
Exactly. But if you took off, dang, boy, I can't say his name. You take him off that team, it's gonna be hard pressed. And even though they in the East, it would have been. I'm sorry, they in the East or the West.
East.
Not so. Even with them being in the East, since it's so easy, they still don't make it. In my
So
opinion.
so think about this. The Brooklyn Nets with absolutely nobody.
What?
Hold on, no. I'm talking about this year, where Kyrie didn't play and KD didn't play. They were in the playoffs, so the East would have been crazy easy as far as trying to make the playoffs, right? Now, LeBron James, and you are right, AD led NOLA to the playoffs, but he did it with Boogie Cousins, a healthy Boogie Cousins, another big man. You, I look at it as I'm not saying in the Blazers were the 8th seed in the West. So I say Dame, in my opinion, is one of the best. But them being an 8 seed, and look at the 8 seed in the East, it's not even close. It's not even close. So of course, without the Bucks are still a playoff team. They're still a playoff team.
So okay, so you brought up the Nets. The Nets, they they walked in blind into the playoffs. They didn't even they opened their eyes and it's like, where we at? Playoffs? Playoffs? We in the playoffs? But they was confused. They were 35-7. They didn't even have a winning record. In my opinion, listen, you don't got no winning record. Yo, but don't it kind of remind me of the playoffs in Pennsylvania. I won 2 games, but guess what? I'm in the playoffs, baby.
That's how it was.
It wasn't that bad, but you did have some teams that did not have winning records, and it was in the playoffs.
Get out of here.
And it was because of how it was just structured. So and if you don't got no winning record, what I'm giving you a reward for? You ain't win nothing. So basically, you had the Brooklyn Nets at 35-7, the Orlando Magic 33-40. The Nets team was the Wizards at 25-47. You could have just put a name in the hat and just pull names out and say, all right, here you go. So the Nets, they didn't do nothing, bro. Like they did not do anything to deserve to get there. And then I look over at the West, it's the same thing. I mean, now over there, the 7th seed is the Mavericks, but they had a winning record. The 8th seed was the Trailblazer. They didn't have a winning record. So just looking at it, like they just like people say, I guess the East is a little bit weaker. He deserved it because, in my opinion, he had the best. He led the team with the best record in the NBA. And then on top of that, if you look at it, the Lakers, they still lost what? They were 2 games behind them. They were 52-19, and they were 56-17. And they have the best player in the league, and then probably another top 5 player in the league at this time with AD. Who else do the Bucks have? I'll wait.
Chris Middleton is a beast. We listen.
Hold up. He's a good role player. No, I'll take it back. I'm sorry. I'm being disrespectful. He's good, but he is not in the top 15 or even 20 players in NBA. I say top 15. He's not in the top 15. Not even close.
So, Chris Middleton, in the last couple games, saved one game and almost saved another game in the playoffs. I think that he's underrated, but you're right. He's not a LeBron James AD type combination. You're absolutely right. But he's more than serviceable. He's more than a role player. He is a Robin to a Batman. But you're right.
He is gosh, what is his name? I can't think of his name. Gosh, who's the guy that went from the Celtics to Miami, helped LeBron? Ray Allen.
Ray Allen.
Yeah.
He is a Ray Allen player. He is good on defense. Ray Allen was not good on defense in the prime. I'm not saying Ray. Hold up.
No.
Listen, I'm not saying. I'm saying Ray Allen when he was with the Celtics.
What are you reacting to, Jarrell?
The Lakers just hit a 3 with 2.1 seconds to beat Denver.
Oh, I
Denver,
thought you. I
Denver
thought you.
was winning. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I
Wow.
thought you was looking at me like that because of what I said.
Not listen. You got to give him more than Ray Allen. I would say more Klay Thompson. I would say more Klay Thompson.
Okay.
I would say more Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson was a spot up shooter coming in, and he turned into a well-rounded player. But he was a sharpshooter in the beginning, and Chris Middleton was a three-point shooter in the beginning.
So let me ask you this: who would you take, Klay Thompson or Chris Middleton?
I'm taking Klay because Klay's on the defensive end better than Middleton.
And
So
Clay,
first
boy,
off,
he will shoot the freaking air out that ball.
Jarrell, you ain't had to think about that. You already knew exactly as soon as those words came out my mouth. You already knew exactly who you're gonna pick. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that that's why he deserved it because of the players that he had to surround himself with. He was a more dominant player this season than LeBron was, and he was more valuable to his team than LeBron was. Even though LeBron is very valuable, because I think that they don't go to the championship without LeBron.
Yeah. So the other question Mr. Byron had for you, Jarrell, he said, "What are you doing?" When we got on stream, Byron said, "Jarrell, what are you doing?" So what you doing, Jarrell?
What you doing with your life? What's your purpose?
Listen, man, I'm enjoying being a daddy again, man. So just doing me, doing baby and mama. No, just I'm just excited, man. Just in a new chapter of life. So that's it, man. Just doing me, man. I love coming to our viewers, the public, being able to do this. My wife granted me the opportunity to come into the room early to be able to come to you guys live. So that's all, man. I'm just trying to give a good show, trying to give some love and give some feedback from the heart.
True that. True that. And Eric had commented about your dedication. He said he was just like dedication. That dedication that you showing to come on, man, and show support for the show. So I definitely know when you texted it, you was like, "Yo, we doing the show." I'm like, "Oh, all
We doing
right, we doing the show. I'm with it. Let's go."
Man, I take obligation seriously, man, and I know we have a good time on here. But this is also serious for us. This is what we love to do. We love to talk about it. And once I talked to or I said something to my wife about it, and she was okay with it, it was like, let's go. Let's do the show. Let's give the people some good content, especially with we got basketball in full swing finishing up. We got hockey finishing up. We got baseball about to go to playoffs. Football getting started. College is in. I mean, it's it's good stuff.
Yeah,
We
it
got
is.
I mean, it's hard to choose topics because there's so much good right now with sports. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, they about to fight on the game, bro. The Patriots and Seattle, they about to fight, man.
Man, I'm just listen. I'm happy to be able to watch sports because we was worried about not being able to watch
True
sports.
that.
I'm like you. I got the Patriots game on. I got my other phone up with the Lakers in Denver. I watched seeing that finish just crazy. It's it's an exciting time, man.
Oh yeah.
And we don't normally get this. We don't normally get high part of basketball,
Yeah.
the excitement of the beginning of football, the excitement of college football. Baseball is baseball. Baseball doesn't have the American following um, like they should. But even that, I mean, you're getting ready to go into playoffs, so it's about to be money down, man. This is where legends get made for basketball, hockey, and baseball. And this is where you get excited for the rookies that were picked up in football. See what they gonna do. See what your favorite team's gonna do and see what my man Cam Newton gonna do. Holla at a Patriots fan, Fade.
Wait, what?
I'll let it Patriots
Nah,
fans say it.
nah. Get that out of here.
Hey, so listen, just to let y'all know if y'all don't know, in the playoffs, playing for the Stanley Cup, we got the Tampa Bay Lightning about to bring that championship home. Him, come in here, bring that him. Then we got baseball, the Devil Rays, or not Devil Rays no more, but the Tampa Rays in the playoffs. Bring that him. And guess who gonna be in the Super Bowl this year? All three teams in the playoffs. We winning something. Let's go. Tampa Bay, stand up. Let's go. Yeah. So y'all get ready. We out here.
Get that out of here.
We can end it on that note.
Yeah, we can. Anyways. All right, everybody. We appreciate you guys for coming out and tuning in to another episode of the Deep Third Sports Podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications for when we go live. So we will catch you guys again next week. Peace.
Enjoy a great week of football. Enjoy a great week of sports.
Let's